Here we are.
Here we are.
Well, hi everybody. Andrew London here. This is Kirsten.
Hi.
Welcome to episode 2 of Live at the Londons, direct from home office. You see, we have a very, very expensive and high production backdrop here, made by our beautiful daughter, Rosie. So the show is getting slicker by the day, as you can see. Now, look, the response to episode 1 was absolutely overwhelming. Thank you so much for your contributions, your keen advice. Sit closer, sit further away, sit closer to each other, sit further away from each other. Have more light, have less light. Make it shorter, make it longer, make it better. Make it tell better jokes.
Yeah.
But what was really overwhelming, there were two things that were really overwhelming, were firstly, all your contributions to the lockdown isolation blues. We now have 72 verses. In fact, I got another 2 today, so 74 verses of the lockdown isolation. Well, you'll be pleased to hear that we're not going to do all of them today, because that would be like the Canterbury Tales or a Bob Dylan's new song or something like that. So we'll probably do 5 or 6 more on that later. Also, very sincere thanks for your contributions to our virtual buskers hat. As you know, our gigs all went from some to nothing, so it's nice to have our income back to a trickle. So thanks very much for that. And if you want to contribute to the show, you can go to my website and find out how to do that, andrewlondon.co.nz, and you can get a link there to how to buy our songs or albums, and also the current 5 or 6 verses of the Lockdown Isolation Blues that we will be doing today.
Okay.
So before we get into anything new, let's play something old, something that we know reasonably well, just to get us fizzing into the right frame of mind. A song about shopping for appliances, which actually has been requested by a few. That was something else I meant to say. Thank you so much for all your requests. We're going to plough through them over the next few episodes. This is for Meg and Mike Collins at Bruce McLaren. Remember Bruce McLaren Village up in Howick, where we have played a few times.
Yes.
Hi guys, thanks. Nice to hear from you. And for B Selwood, and also for our very good friend Roz up in Auckland. Thanks, Roz. Good on you. Okay, here we go. Without further ado. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's not always easy getting on with married life. I know that you'll agree. If you've a husband or a wife, you need a hobby or activity that you can do together as a team. Last year we tried philosophy, but it made us argue more. Then we both went cycling till some bits of mine got sore. It took a while for us to both concur on something that fulfills both me and her. We buy appliances, doesn't matter what they do. We buy appliances, don't knock it, it may work for you. We buy appliances, they're so shiny when they're new. We buy appliances, what do? Appliances to brush our teeth, appliances to cut our meat, appliances to soak our feet, appliances just can't be beat, appliances to dry our hair and suck the water from the air. We buy appliances. Let's take it from the top again. Yeah? We found we were both dreaming of a trip to Harvey Leeming. Let LV Martin put it right. Whenever we have had a fight, for married bliss we need no magic wand. They've got everything we need at Bond and Bond. So while some folks might go camping, other couples like to dance or watch those arty movies all about things they only do in France. We just take a trip down to the mall for something we can plug into the wall. We buy appliances, doesn't matter what they do. We buy appliances, don't knock it, it may work for you. We buy appliances, and we've collected quite a few. We buy appliances, alright! Appliances to brush our teeth, appliances to cut our meat, appliances to soak our feet, appliances just can't be beat, appliances to warm our towels, appliances to shave our jowls, appliances to roast our fowls, appliances for boys and gals, appliances to warm our knees, appliances
Appliances.
To make things freeze.
Appliances.
For DVDs, instructions
Appliances.
all in Japanese.
Appliances.
To bake our bread.
Appliances.
To use in bed.
Appliances.
Instead, in case I'm just not interested.
Appliances.
To dry our hair and suck the water from the air. We buy appliances.
Like what?
We buy appliances. Electric blanket. We buy appliances. Ha! Thank God that's over. Well done, love. Excellent. Right. Okay. So that was called Appliances. Surprisingly enough, and what I've got on my list now is a lovely song. It's called "Getting Old and Getting Tired."
Oh,
I say lovely
apt.
song. Well, yes. Apart from being very apt, it's a bit nostalgic for Kirsten and me. I wrote it about 10 years ago, and we recorded it with Hot Club Sandwich, and we've recorded our own version since. On this album, which is called Let's Have Friends Round for Dinner, with a lovely cover there by Gerard Taylor over in Featherston. And the reason why it was a bit poignant for us was because this was Kester Pierce's favourite song. Kester and Lois were our kids' honorary grandparents, and sadly no longer with us anymore. But it was Kester's favourite song. He really loved us, and their daughter Christy and our good friend Dave are both hunkering down, self-isolating in Hoi An in Vietnam, I think, at the moment. So hi guys, if you're there. And you very well might be, because you'd be surprised where we've been getting messages from.
Yeah,
We've got
everywhere.
people have been messaging us from to say they're listening from North Carolina. Hi Larry and Karen. From Germany, hi Helmut. From North Dorset, g'day Alan out there. And my very good friend Glenn Hansen from Langley, just out of Vancouver in Canada, just across the border from the USA. And more about Glenn later on. Yes, so it's very nice to get all these requests from people from all over the place. This particular song we're doing for Heather, Fred and Jean. Hi guys, and also for Pauline and Ethel Swan in Wellington. They come to lots of our gigs, so we'd like to say hi to you there down in the capital. Okay, here it is, Getting Old and Getting Tired. Mostly autobiographical, obviously. I'm really sorry that neither Terry Crayford nor Cecil Stevenson could be here to do this, because they both do this song better than me, but I'll give it my best shot. All right? Getting old and getting tired leaves a lot to be desired. Things I used to do, I can't do now. The girls I used to squeeze have all got artificial knees, but chance would be a fine thing anyhow. I used to like to dance, but it's become a game of chance. Gamble with the laws of gravity. Getting down is really hip, but it's become a one-way trip. Getting old and getting tired is killing me. Getting old and getting tired leaves a lot to be desired. My mind is like the land that time forgot. I retain with clarity events of 1983, but can't remember if I've dressed myself or not. The autumn leaves are falling, I hear Wyke and I calling. They'll be bringing out my pills at 3:30. I get peculiar aches and pains, and my foot hurts when it rains. Getting old and getting tired is killing me. Getting tired leaves a lot to be desired. Things I used to do, I can't do now. The tank is down to half, but I suppose you gotta laugh, 'cause chance would be a fine thing anyhow. I guess I shouldn't moan, at least my teeth are on my own. I put 'em in a glass to keep 'em clean. Ooh, getting old and getting tired leaves a lot to be desired. Getting old and getting tired is killing me. Getting old and getting tired is killing me. Getting old, getting tired. All right, okay, you'll be pleased to hear it is now time for the lockdown isolation blues.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, now we've had, as I said, we've had 74 different verses of this song. You'll be pleased to hear we're not going to sing 74 verses today. What we're going to do is a chorus and then 3 verses and then a chorus. It's a blues song, so they're all the same. There's no difference between the chorus and the verses really, except for the words. And I hope you don't mind, but I've cut and pasted a bit with people's contributions, so you might not necessarily hear the verses that you wrote all in the same order. But today we're going to do an introductory chorus from Lynn Scott. Nice one, Lynn, good on you. And then a verse from Amber Corley-Pratt. I think Amber's in Melbourne. Let me know if I've got that wrong. Thanks for passing that on, B. And then a verse from Roz, our good friend Roz in Auckland. And then another verse from Lynn Scott. Lynn gets two shots today because they're so good. And then we give the last chorus to Julie Parsons, who wrote a corker. Funnily enough, on the theme of drinking. Perhaps that's why it appealed so much.
Maybe so.
Could be. Quite a lot of verses on the subject of drinking, actually. You seem to be a social demographic that enjoys a tipple, but that's fine for Kirsten and me. We're happy about that. Right, so I'm going to place these bits of paper in an accessible position.
Oh yes, so you can actually read it.
So I can actually read them. Hope they don't slip off the table halfway through. So here we are, the Lockdown Isolation Blues, today's version.
It's going to fall down.
Oh dear. Okay. Just a minute.
Oh, see, there we go. There we go.
Live,
Yeah.
No frills.
No frills. No frills. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yes, very high tech auto cues we have here. Right?
Yes.
Well, I got them lockdown isolation blues. Oh, I got them lockdown isolation blues. I went off to do my shopping, check out those supermarket queues. My face mask at the ready, wet wipes by my side. Well, I keep my social distance, take my trolley for a ride. They're running out of toilet paper, better quicken up my stride. My magazines were all good reads, helped to pass the time away. Oh, but then Bauer took my listener, and then they took my woman's day. And my subs were paid to next year, but a refund they won't pay. I know. Yeah, that lockdown isolation blues. Ooh, I got them lockdown isolation blues. Well, it's only gone 10 o'clock a.m. Looking for a glass and a corkscrew. Oh yes, but I played me some piano and I played some violin. Oh, I yearned for something grander, picked up my dad's accordion. Very blues. But my My neighbor's got no manners. He called the sound control guys in. So, see what I did there?
Yeah. Very good.
So I was having too much fun, lost my place, and did the last chorus in the wrong place, but was able to cunningly alert Kirsten to this error.
Resurrect it.
And resurrect the song and do the verse that was written by Lynn Scott last instead of Julie Parsons' chorus. So I'm sorry about that. I don't think it matters too much.
No, I don't think so. That worked really well.
Because it's all warts and all here at live at the Lockdown London's home office. Yes. Yeah. So who cares? Now we further on with the requests. We'd like to do a concrete block motel, and we'd like to do this for Scott Webb and also for Jules and Craig in Palmerston North. Thanks very much, guys. Just up the road in Palmy, and concrete block motel, a song very dear to my heart. Another one that recorded with Hot Club Sandwich, but that we've recorded on an album called Live at the Bent Horseshoe, actually. So it's a song made up of a montage of experiences that were had in various concrete block motels all around the country some years ago. Hello, here's your key. You're early. Oh well, so you come from way up north, is that right? Yeah, thought so, I can tell. Looks as if there's 3 of you. Your agent should have said. I've only got 1 unit left. Yeah, it's just a double bed. Do you want some milk? Blue or green? We'll give you that for free. But the heater's on a timer. It goes off at 3:30. My wife and I live right next door, so if you have to, ring the bell. It's all part of the service at this concrete block motel. I've been here nearly 20 years and seen the likes of you. You think attending to your needs is all I've got to do. I think it's only fair that I should share my private hell with every lucky traveller at my concrete block motel. Now if you have to do some cooking, can you pull the blinds away? We had somebody splashing curry on them only yesterday. Check-out time's at 10 a.m, so when you're leaving, don't be slow. There's nobody booked till August, yeah, but we got our rules, Yes, of course we got the internet. It's $10 for an hour. We got this wireless Broadway thing, and of course it takes a lot of power. And if you climb up on the fridge, you'll get the signal really well. That's all part of the service too at this concrete block motel. I've been here nearly 20 years and seen the likes of you. You think attending to your needs is all I've got to do. I think it's only fair that I should share my private hell with every lucky traveller at my concrete block motel. Now, of course, there is no smoking, but it is all right to drink. And the shower works okay, although the pressure's on the blink. So she does tend to dribble out rather slow. Of course, the nozzle doesn't quite fit. So if you want to actually get wet, yes, you might have to run around a bit. Hold on, we do have another room. Goodness me, how could I be so dumb? He used to belong to a bloke called Bates, who lived here with his mum. I think it's reasonably clean and will only charge you half. Some holes in the shower curtain and some stains around the bath. I've been here nearly 20 years and seen the likes of you. You think attending to your needs is all I've got to do. I think it's only fair I should share my private hell with every lucky traveller at my concrete block motel. The welcome mat is waiting at my concrete block motel. Yee-haw! All right, concrete block motel. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks, Scott, Jules, and Craig. Oh yes, now I'm introducing a new segment to the show. This is called Roll on the Floor Laughing, the Roffle. This is the Roffle section. I've had some very, very funny one-liners sent to me by my good friend Glenn Hansen, to whom I referred earlier, from Canada. And I haven't run these past Kirsten yet, so what I've decided to do is I've selected 4 that I think are quite funny, and I'm going to run them past her, and she's going to rate them from 1 to 10, where 1 is not very funny, so maybe a sort of smirk half the side of your face, kind of groan. 10 is so funny that we have to stop the show and start again because it's so funny we can't carry on. Okay, so really funny. Roll on the floor laughing is a 10.
Right.
You got that? Okay.
Yes, I got that.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Here's the first
Throw it
one.
at me.
Still haven't decided where to go to. I've put these are all on the theme of the lockdown. So just want to make that clear. Okay. Still haven't decided where to go for Easter, the living room or the kitchen. Yeah?
Yeah.
Quite funny.
Yeah. A little bit funny.
A bit funny?
Yeah.
1,
3.
2, 3.
I
We're
should've given
off to a flying start.
3.
Okay, here we go. You ready for the next one?
Chuckle. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Homeschooling is going well. 2 students suspended for fighting and 1 teacher fired for drinking on the job. Hey, that's quite funny.
That was a little bit more funny.
More funny.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Maybe a 4.
4, just a 4.
Well,
Just
a
a
more.
tiny bit
A
more
little
funny.
bit more.
Okay.
Maybe
All right. Okay. Pressing on.
Yeah.
2 more to do. You ready?
Okay.
I love this one. This is a very good one. You'll like this. This morning I saw a neighbour talking to her cat. It was obvious she thought her cat understood her and she's gone completely mad. I came back into the house, told the dog, we laughed a lot. What about that? That's pretty
That
funny.
was funny, eh?
That was funny, wasn't it? Eh?
5.
5, 3 for 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've picked them in order then, haven't I?
Yeah.
Okay, last one. You ready?
Okay.
I'm so excited. It's time to take out the garbage. What should I wear? No? What?
4.
4, back to 4. Oh, okay. Oh, well. Okay, now, you may not think all of those were as funny as Kirsten did, or even funnier as I did, but you send us yours. If you've got better ones, send them. Send in the funniest one-liners, send them in and email me or something, and we'll read them out. Now, we're pressing on with requests. We have a request here for Emily Bay. Now, Emily Bay is a song we have to play because it's been requested by Ian, Jane and Emily Coates. I mean, how can you not do a song called Emily Bay when it's been requested by someone called Emily? Obviously, it's a no-brainer, so we have to do that. And Roz, this is for you as well. This is a song that's about an incident that took place on Norfolk Island. Lots of you will know this because you've probably been with us to Norfolk Island over the years, and we do think we'll be going again in December to the Jazz Festival this December 2020, but obviously it'll depend on where our lockdown and their lockdown situations are at.
That's right.
So, it's a beautiful place, but it has a slightly sobering history if you delve into it as far as the penal colony is concerned. It was a hideous British penal colony. In the 1800s, there was an incident, a mutiny. In 1846, 3 or 4 prison guards killed, 18 convicts hanged and buried outside the consecrated ground of the cemetery, which in those days was deemed to be an even worse punishment than being executed itself. I have to say it wouldn't bother me anywhere near as much as being hanged, but there you go. They were strange times, different times. So it's a true story, except for a little bit of literary license that I indulged in from time to time. Are we ready? Johnny was a wild one, got sent down, 7 years hard in Sydney town. Elizabeth cried on the dock, says he, you're a good girl, Lizzie, don't you wait for me. Johnny was a thief, he's quicker than some, got caught with a bottle of the captain's rum. Blood runs down to the sand on Emily Bay, and the blood runs down to the sand on Emily Bay. Judge said, well, I can turn a hard man around. You can do your time out in King's Kingston town. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra-loo-ra-loo-ra-lie. Johnny said, well, you can cut a chain for me, but curse your eyes till the day that I'm free. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra-loo-ra-lie. Johnny took 100 till the blood ran black. The chaplain said, that's a dead man's back. Blood runs down to the sand on Emily Bay. And the blood runs down to the sand on Emily Bay. Jackie said, "And brother, come along with me. Gonna kill me, a copper been worrying me." Johnny said, well, Jack, I've been a-thinking just the same. And they got 3 more before the soldiers came. The commandant said, you're gonna hang this morn. England, sorry that you ever been born. Blood runs down to the sand on Emily Bay. And the blood runs down to the sand on Emily Bay. Johnny was a wild one, got sent down. Never did a year in Kingston town. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra-loo-ra-lie. Elizabeth cried on the day she read he was thrown in a hole, not a prayer was said. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra-loo-ra-lie. And on the murderer's mound you can hear his plea. You're a good girl, Lizzie, don't you wait for me. Blood runs down to the sand on Emily Bay. And the blood runs down to the sand on Emily Bay. And the blood runs down to the sand on Emily Bay. Good one. Yeah. All right, Emily Bay. Yes, okay. Now, moving along, I see that what I've done there is I put everything in the wrong order. Okay, so that's all right. We'll just shuffle things up a bit. Oh, I'll tell you what it's time for. You'll be sorry to hear. New song!
Oh, new song. Yes. Here we go. Woohoo.
New song. So there comes a time when every song has to be debuted for the first time, because sort of what debut means, really, isn't it? And this is it. Everybody, this is it. New song.
Yep.
I've had a bit of time, and I should have written more, but I've only written one so far, and this is it. But we are having a nice time, I must say, and I hope you're enjoying yourselves. It's been nice for us having our daughter home, Rosie. It's been great because she's been globetrotting a bit over the last couple of years. She's been to the States, then she came home, and then she went to the UK for the best part of a year and worked over there as a lifeguard in Cornwall, and then she came home. And then over Christmas, she's been in Auckland and on the beaches in Taranaki, working as a lifeguard. And just before the lockdown, she came home. So she's home now. 3, 4. We try our very best to be the parents that we want to be. Hope we'll be forgiven our shortcomings. Through the years of piggybacks and changing dirty underdacks, bruises, runny noses and sore tummies. Then finally the day arrives, they step outside the door into a world seductive and inviting. You could always be forgiven if you shed a tear or two, but oh, the future as a duo's quite exciting. But they come home just when you thought you might be on your own. At last, but not so fast. It seems the big wide world's enticements struggle to compete with Sky TV, Wi-Fi that's free, and actual food to eat. come home, and they ask to have their room back, and for yet another loan for an iPhone. And just as you began to think the bathroom was your own, like the annual migration of the starlings, your darlings come back home. They turn up with their washing, and before long they are noshing on whatever's in the fridge can be reheated. And 'cause they're generous and kind, their mates are never far behind. Your stocks of South Australian wine are soon depleted. They reclaim all the clothing you decided would be pawned. You've got a wardrobe in the room you thought of renting. You say, let's get away, let's take the car out for the day. Oh, but the gauge is reading empty, though you filled it yesterday. 'Cause they come home just when you thought you might be on your own to hold your old remote control. And all your QI episodes deleted overnight, replaced with Pimp My Pet, The Bachelorette, and Married at First Sight. They come home like the North Atlantic salmon, seek the gravel where they spawned. Be warned, you thought the long-awaited era of the empty nest had dawned, but as the chilly autumn winds give way to summer, it's a bummer they come home. And as the hour hand of parenthood hits 12 o'clock at last, at just 1 minute past, it's when you find the little beggars come back home. Not bad, yeah. Got almost all the words right.
Almost,
yes, okay,
yeah.
so there you go. But they come home. All right, okay. Now, look, we've only got time. We've got time for one more. We'd like to do one more for you. Hope you've had a great time. And we'd like to do this for Catherine and Trevor. We love Catherine and Trevor. They're up in Auckland. We met them on a cruise ship a couple of years ago. Catherine was foolish enough to own up to the fact that she not only did she play the trumpet in a little orchestra in Auckland, but she had it with her on the cruise ship. So after much bullying and cajoling and begging and hassling and nagging, she agreed to play it with us. So she joined in with us a couple of times and has done a couple of times since, both here and in Auckland. And we love you guys. It's lovely to get your message. Oh, and Eleanor Benseman. I think Eleanor is in Tauranga. I'm not sure, but well done, Eleanor, getting us a message, because apparently your internet up there is absolute rubbish. So good luck with that. Gee, I hope your local MP can do something about that. It would be really good. And we'd like to do this just for Trevor and also for David Carter, who's a keen cyclist.
Yes, isn't he just?
When temporary insanity and midlife crisis bites, or an unrequited craving for attention, when lust for an adventure and escape from daily life begins to get my gluteus clenching, it's down to my back shed I go, start oiling up the chain. My past used by testosterone begins to stir again, preparing to indulge the love that dare not squeak its name. I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. Yes, I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra, parading my anatomy in high-vis technicolor glee. The outer skin compresses my mammalian excesses. I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. Yes, I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. Winding country roads are best. We love to ride them three abreast. The reassuring clinging keeps me confident while singing. I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. I had to sell my Porsche for the deposit on my bike. Applied for all the credit cards and maxed them. Yes, I get my silhouette's not yet as streamlined as I'd like, but boy, my legs are less wind resistant since I waxed them. So if you see me riding, though I do present a sight, not unlike a Savoy that's stuffed a little tight. At the lights let me go first, but keep your distance, I could burst. I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. Yes, I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. Accentuating bumps and swells, keep out the rain, keeping the smells. Reassuring clinging keeps me confident while singing. I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. Yes, and I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. Parading my anatomy in high-vis technically. Reassuring clinging keeps me confident while singing. I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. That reassuring clinging stops the dangly bits from swinging. I'm a middle-aged man, I'm glad I bought a van. I'm a middle-aged man in Lycra. And for Peter in Queenstown too, who organises the tour of New Zealand. Yeah, good on you, mate. Hey, thanks very much, everybody. We're going to leave it there. We've got lots more requests to do in episode 3 of Live at the London's, direct from the Home Office. Go to my website, andrewlondon.co.nz. There's the words there of the latest lockdown isolation blues. You can use it as a template. Write your own verses and send them in. We'll see how long we can make this. It's getting pretty close to sort of war and peace at the moment. It won't be far away. And thanks so much for contributions. If you want to make a contribution to the show, we'd appreciate that very much. There are details about our virtual buskers hat on that front page of my website as well. Look, stay safe, stay physically distanced, but not socially distanced, and take care.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time for episode 3.
Yay.
Bye.